Now we will start with the fifth technical session on due diligence, objective, extent, scope, tips for getting ready for due diligence. To handle this session, we have a speaker, Mr. Natarajan, Chief Operating Officer and CEO of RNT Capital. May I request C. Venkateshwarlu to escort the speaker under the dais. And welcome to floor, okay? Thank you, sir. Now I take this opportunity to give a brief profile of the speaker. Mr. Natarajan, fondly familiar to most of the financial investor and entrepreneurial world as NUTS. Natarajan is the Chief Operating Officer and CFO of RNT Capital, which manages UC RNT fund of USD 350 million from University of California since inception in July 2016. With over 27 years of experience in the diverse function, NUTS has served proven leadership roles in organization building and scaling, governance and compliance across the electric array of business fields. Prior to UC RNT Fund, as the MD and CFO since inception, June 2006, of one of the India's oldest and homegrown venture firm, Helion raised 3 funds aggregating over $600 million, invested 73 investments across various sectors and stages in India and the US. He led over 200 shareholder agreements and 30 exits. Before joining Helion, he was a global CFO and head of support service of Tawal Technologies, software services company, where he led key initiatives of scaling the company from USD 19 million to 60 million and 200 employees to 1,100 employees within a span of 3 years. Apart from various boards of investee companies, he also serves on the board of studies at Christ University, Bangalore, Bethany Educational Institution, Jain College for Women at Chennai, Trustee of Youth for Seva, a 8-year-old NGO focusing on child education, now serving over 5,500 children across 8 states, including many tribal children. He is in the governing body of TIE Bangalore and secretary for last 5 years, and also served in the expert team advised RBI, SEBI and Government of India on the startup policies, and currently assisting NSE in their SME listing platform. With this brief introduction, I welcome you, sir. Over.
Good evening and thank you very much for inviting me. I don't have any presentation. Okay, so I don't know, sir. You are all used to do the presentation, so I don't make any presentation. So I want this to be as interactive as possible. So I'll just tell you a little my background on investing side. So I've been with investing for last 13 years now. We started Helion Ventures in 2006 and we raised our first fund. In 2006 there was no concept of a venture capital. So we started it. When we started, actually none of us knew anything. Okay, all these lawyers and the big 4 firms, all the law firms talking, they just did not know as from elbow on what is diligence, what is documentation, everything, including us. We also did not know. So all of us learned together. Okay, so and I think we raised 3 funds in Helion, aggregating to $600 million. So currently our asset under management is over $1.2 billion in Helion. And we invested about 75 companies, we did about 30 exits and several are under the offering. In 2016, we decided that in Helion that we will not do a 4th fund. And there was a team dismantling happened and some of our partners left and all that stuff. At that time, University of California wanted to start a fund in India. And then they were looking for a very credible partner and they chose Ratan Tata. So Mr. Tata requested me, why don't you join and run this fund, and I said okay fine. With only one small caveat, I said I will not shift out of Bangalore. So he said okay fine, that's okay. So in our business, you don't need any office, you don't need anything. You just need a laptop and a phone, right? So that is how we started, and then in UC R&D fund, University of California has an asset under management of $110 billion, okay, globally. And out of that, they intend to invest about $2 billion in India. Okay, that is how we started. And then right now we are now 350 million right now. We have invested in 15 companies right now. And so the difference between Helion and UC R&D is in Helion, it is all early stage investing. So it's basically a Series A, Series B kind of this thing. And whereas in UC R&D we have done 3-4 Series A, Series B investment, but I think largely it is Series C plus. So we have invested in Ola Cabs, we have invested in HDFC Insurance, we have invested in Piramal QAPO, we have invested in Inmobi, Sophie Bioscience, CureFit, we have invested. CureFit, all of you would have known, right? So like that we have invested. Now this is the background, and basically the topic is about the due diligence, and then what is the thing? Tips to manage. So I don't have to give any tips. I think all of you are chartered accountants. I think you know more tips than what I know. I always tell one thing. So to guys, to just tell you a background, I am not a chartered accountant. Okay. So the organizer asked me saying that are you a chartered accountant? I said no, I am not a chartered. Then I asked her, if you want to withdraw the invitation, I am okay. He said no, it's okay, please. So I am not a CA. So the background is, so why an investor is doing a due diligence? So the due diligence also differs, right? In many ways, depending upon the stage of the company. For example, in a pre-series A, seed stage, there is no need to do any due diligence, right? What kind of due diligence you will do? You will do only typically whether the company is formed, whether shareholders are there, kind of a secretarial, and mostly that will be done by the lawyers who is doing it. So financial due diligence, in my view, in a seed and Series A is lot more a myth. Series A plus and Series B, I think there is a very reasonable financial due diligence important. And in that, I think the CA firms play a very big role in that. And any of the entrepreneurs here, or all of you are chartered accountants practicing? All are practicing. Any entrepreneurs?
No.
One? So an entrepreneur? Okay. It's a very dangerous combination. What do you do?
We have a solar startup.
Solar energy. You got panels?
No. We have
Do you produce solar?
we have water pumps.
Okay.
We have retrofit inverters.
Okay. So we invested in a company called Azure Power, which is listed in Nasdaq. I was on the board of the company. So we seed invested in that company. It has gone to Nasdaq. So the primary this thing is, I think, because all of you are chartered accountants, I was thinking that lot more startups will be there, because what are the tips to manage the due diligence ideally should be given to the startups, not for the chartered accountants, right? So unless you guys advise.
Depends on which side of the.
But I think you should also remember the guy who is doing a diligence is also a CA, right? So okay. So typically what the investor look at, I always tell that I think in a due diligence, so two things are very important, right? One is that all of you remember this golden rule of prospectus, right? When we studied our commerce, we know, right? So a golden rule of prospectus means, how many of you remember golden rule of prospectus? I am very surprised. So that is very favorite to me. Golden rule of prospectus is, it is not that whatever you are telling are true, but all true things are told. Okay, that is the golden rule of prospectus. If you want, you can go and refer to the companies around. Okay, so that I always tell this to the companies, saying that due diligence, financial due diligence is like a golden rule of prospectus. If you disclose everything, then I think it is a lot more easier. However bad it is, if we find out there is something wrong, then there is something serious. So typically the way it happens is when an investor gives a term sheet for investing, so he will say that subject to a due diligence, subject to financial diligence, tax diligence and legal due diligence. So what we will do is we will file both financial diligence and legal diligence, and towards halfway through the legal diligence, or towards 80% of the legal due diligence, we will tell the lawyers to start the documentation. Financial due diligence will keep going on. So typically what financial due diligence will cover is, one is that all these I's and T's and all, but more importantly compliance. And then the financial due diligence also will cover your projection, and then what you are projecting, will it happen, will it not happen. Okay, though it is a part of the business diligence, financial diligence guys like to do it. Initially when I engage with the financial diligence, so I typically engage Big Four. So please, I am very biased with Big Four, so please don't get me wrong. I know that CA Institute is not in favor of Big Four, but I think I am very biased with Big Four. And that is also because we are a foreign investor. And for us, I think it is always best to go to a Big Four to cover ourselves, right? So, but some firms I engage. For example, some tier 2 firms I have engaged. In Bangalore, I have engaged Verma and Verma. I have engaged Guru Jana. Who else I have engaged? I don't remember any other firms. So, these firms, other than all these 4 Big Four firms. So what happens is that when 80% of the legal diligence is done, the docs will start. Financial diligence will still happen, right? So the financial diligence, people expect that there won't be any big red flags. Okay? So some of the red flags which will happen are, one, there is a serious tax violation. Okay, so I have seen in one company, the authorized capital was 20 crore. Okay, for the last 4 years, the audited accounts showed the authorized capital as 13.5 crore. I was shocked. Okay, so and second revelation. I am just telling you some of the revelation. Okay, it is not that you guys, all of you are the experts to do the financial diligence. So I am only telling you some examples and experiences so that at least it is of interest to you, because I never believe in keep talking one way. So please also keep talking and please raise your questions and then whatever experience you have, so that it is a mutual. Another thing I saw is the auditor has put 13 so auditor has put 13.5 crore authorized capital, 13.5 crore paid-up capital and 13.5 crore share premium. Okay, and 27 crore the share capital and share premium came to 27 crore. So I was in the due diligence, this firm found out saying that but last so this due diligence people check this statutory compliance and the whatever the earlier MBP, before that it was a form 2 you have to file. So at that time they used to see that what is the share premium and all that. So the last share premium they saw it is at 20 rupees. The share board resolution very clearly said 10 rupees par value and 20 rupees share premium. So this guy was very surprised that the 20 rupees and the number of shares, he somehow tried to tally that. And then, so in most of these, I think, normally these diligences are not done by the people sitting here, including me, right? It's all done by our kids, right? So they are very smart, right? They just, he added, multiplied the number of shares and the premium and found that share premium is not tallying. Okay, so then actually we realized, look at the disaster, okay, of the auditor. When we realized that the first issue, the first time when the company was formed, they put a 10 rupee par value and they put a 10 rupee as a premium. So they issued at 20 rupees per share. Okay, and then the auditor thought that every time it is there. So he did not match with the board resolution and the form filed and all that. That was one disaster we found in the due diligence. Okay, on the very apparent thing. So nobody will imagine that share premium account and authorized capital can be wrong. Right? That was one disaster we found in the due diligence, because I think it has its own impact on. The second one we found is in terms of the way you account. So somebody said that my sales is 35 crore, right? Now I think any of you are auditing any of the e-commerce companies? Yeah. All the best. So, so they have several concepts. In fact, I have learned a lot in e-commerce companies. Okay, they have got first they started with the GMV. It's called gross merchandise value, right? So that itself is a concept to me, honestly, right? उसके बाद अभी तो it is a GMV1, GMV2, GMV3. Then there is a CM. CM is a contribution margin. CM1 and CM2. Okay, one GMV1 is basically all the stuff where I get the orders. Okay, I don't know what it means. Second is what they have dispatched. Third is what is net of return. What is the idea of all these I don't know, because it's all market driven, right? The investors like us, we just give valuation based on the GMV. That's how this concept came up, right? I think we are squarely responsible, not chartered accountants. We are squarely responsible, and obviously entrepreneurs ride on that, right? I think why would anybody not ride on what is convenient to them, right? The challenge, what we found in the audited accounts, I think instead of putting the right quote unquote revenue number, this auditor has put the GMV number. Okay. Third disaster I found in the audited balance sheet. With this I stop embarrassing you guys. So
same company?
Huh?
Same company?
No. That's all. I think with the same company, I think God say, even God cannot say. Okay. So the third one was that auditor just forgot to add one consolidation. He forgot to add one subsidiary. Okay. I don't know how. Forgot to add one subsidiary in the consolidation. He missed it. Okay. So these are all some of the stuff we found in the audited accounts. Then I tell you there are some issues with the DD agencies. For example, so this fellow came back and said that sir, confirmation of balance is not valid. I was very surprised because that is the least anybody will tell you, right? So then we found actually there was another account separately which he has not grouped and then kind of stuff. The problem of some of these audited accounts in this grouping is there will be a lot of compensating errors, right? I think that is a disaster, right? Instead of actually when I joined, so my background is I worked 11 years in Wipro Corporation, 92 to 2003. I worked in Wipro Corporation. On those days Wipro was not big, and so Mr. Trendy used to handpick top 5%, rotate in all functions. So first 3 years I was in finance, then I moved to sales and marketing, then I got black belt in Six Sigma by Motorola University, then I moved to HR, IT, then I was the chief operating officer of business unit. So when I joined Wipro, 92 I joined, 93 May, I think I had a review with my big boss, Dr. N. Balasubramanian, who is a head of corporate governance in IIM Bangalore. So he asked me, I was a kid, just passed out. So he asked me, saying that how is this in current asset there is one minus number. So I think the Excel guys, all of you know this, right? So it is basically it should come in the current liability, but because it is grouped, right? So the way I explained, I said that sir, it is actually a current liability, but I just put it in the current asset. So Bala closed the file. Okay, so Mr. Trenchi said that Bala would have thought that that's how God saved this company. So I'm just saying that this grouping is a very dangerous one. So there was one company, in an e-commerce company actually, they had inventory model. So unlike Flipkarts of the world, so what they were doing is they were giving, so there is a receivable, then there is also advance to supplier, right? So I was just asking that, see, how is advance to supplier? Okay, so when there is a receivable, why are we paying advance to supplier? I don't understand. Is it for a different product or something? Then quietly the finance manager came and said, sir, actually this is the credit balance of the receivable. But I think because we cannot show it as a credit balance of the receivable, we call it as advance to supplier. Is that amazing? So I think that these are all some of the grouping issue which we come across. I think some of the very diligence points which I come across. One was there are some black box, right, in all the audited accounts. All of you know this, right? So there is one such account called exchange rate fluctuation, right? Exchange fluctuation is a real black box, right? We don't know what entry is going in, what entry is coming out. And the other big black, what is the other big black box? Sorry? Miscellaneous expense is a small one. Bigger one is OSL, outstanding liability. Okay, that is another big black box. Okay, so anything can go there, anything can come from there. Okay, so the CFO will decide that how much he will release from that account. Right? So I think these two are the accounts. I will always say that I think you have to look at this very carefully and very diligently. I think the other important one is the other important one is all these compliances. For example, you know that for foreign investment you are supposed to file a FIRC with RBI, and I don't know how many of you know that when you file a foreign investment with RBI, you get a UID number, right? So you are also expected to get a UIN number, which happens after 6 months. Okay, so a lot of people don't even know that there are two numbers. Okay, so everybody thinks that, oh, I have filed with RBI and I have got this. You are expected to follow up and then get the UIN number, which normally nobody follows up. And it comes and bites you back when you are doing an exit or in the next round of investment. So that is another diligence point. I always tell that, honestly I learned that all these are also learning. Okay, it is not that severe, some God's gift to the mankind, right? So we also learned everything we have learned. In one of the exit, I realized that, so there is one company which was actually acquired by another company. I don't want to tell the names, I think then you will. Okay, so it's a very hard company now, so I don't want to tell the name. So in that company, the UAN number was not there. So the company which is acquiring this company, the target, they said that the acquisition has to be finished today. And the AD was Deutsche Bank. And I was in Chennai, I was in some board meeting, and then this guy, target company's another investor, 3 lead investors, very big investors, including Helion. They called and said that, oh Nats, I think there is some trouble. I think this company doesn't have UAN. And I asked, what is UAN? So they said that they didn't get this, it is supposed to come from RBI. And I asked him, how do you know, man? He said that I also did not know, I found out half an hour back. Then they realized that who knew this? So the banker knew this. Okay, Deutsche found out. So the company who was acquiring, the acquiring company said that, boss, I think we have no time because we are waiting for an investment, we need to close this. If you are not closing, we will go and then we have to take that investment. And if they go away, my company will shut down because they have money only for 1 month. Right? So then I will speak to Anjali Mohanty. Anjali is the CEO of Deutsche. She is a very dear friend. I called her and told her. She said that, Max, what can I do? So I said, in banks, I don't know whether you know, in at least multinational banks, the legal team will not talk to you. The legal will talk to only to business. Only business will talk to you. It's like a Chinese whisper, right? You just tell the sir to just write in a piece of paper what he wants to tell and then tell him. And then by the time it reaches Rahul, it will be completely different message. Right? So that is how it is. Legal speaking to business, business speaking to you, you speaking to business, business speaking to legal. So I told Anjali that can you just get legal to talk to me. She said I can't get, but I can do one thing, I'll get legal, I'll get business and both talk from my office to you. That is the one help I can do. Then when we spoke and then we said that honestly I told legal, saying that we did not know that there was a number like this. He was shocked. And I said that don't be shocked, most of the investors don't know. And 100% of the companies don't know. Okay, so, but I can tell you one thing, we will try to get. And at that time actually, I was inducted in this expert committee advising RBI, SEBI and Government of India. 2 years ago, you know that, 2 years back, you may remember that Prime Minister launched the startup policy. So that startup policy was actually brainchild of us. So in that we interacted very closely with the RBI Governor Natarajan and SEBI Chief UK Sinha many times. In one of the events where we spoke to the Governor, I asked the Governor, saying that, sir, what is the necessity for these two numbers? Okay? Because it is an automatic route, 100% automatic route. And yes, I understand that you need to file with the RBI because of the foreign exchange. But what is the necessity for the second number? He said, I agree. So he asked the officer, what is the necessity? Officer said, yes, I agree. We should not have. But till now, Raghu has gone and new governor has come. So new governors, we have not met. After that, I think we moved on to the government. So we are not interacting with RBI now. So while the intention is there, but the action has not happened. So even today, you would follow with the. So if you are advising any other companies, I think something you guys should take care is all these compliance. Then the last important one on the compliance is while you guys are the big tax planning and all that, which that's why I think Prime Minister is against chartered accountants and lawyers. He thinks that his community and the lawyers are the big responsible for all the mess. So that's what he thinks, right? So don't get me wrong. Okay. So the other important thing is the tax returns. For example, as a foreign company, there are many foreign companies where I think you need to have an India-controlled, India-managed boards, right? So we claim that there are several companies who are India-controlled, India-managed. But what happens is that in one of the tax return of a company, the foreign director had signed. So it was very clearly, so the entire tax losses will go away, there is a tax this thing. So that is a big, and especially in a PE transaction, I think these things will have a very serious impact. The other one is a position taken on this withholding tax. I think that is another. So I recently in one of our investment, they were paying actually, it's a pharma company. It's not my investment, so don't make it this. So it's a pharma company where they were actually paying for testing certain molecules, and they were paying to the foreign company, and then they took an opinion. They said that they had taken an opinion, and then they are not directed with withholding tax, and then this the investor he asked what is the opinion, and if you see the opinion says it's given by a very good tax expert and whom I have a lot of respect, and that person has not a big four. Okay, so he has given an opinion saying that there is no way you cannot not deduct the withholding tax. The opinion says you cannot not deduct. That means you have to deduct, right? You cannot not deduct withholding tax. However, it is your business call. Some roundabout there said. So these fellows have taken a business call. So where is the opinion? Okay. Then obviously we need to cross it up, and then the 20% tax penalty and all that. It ran to gross. Because last 3 years they have been doing it. Okay. So that is some of these I think will impact very seriously, especially some of these positions in tax, in sales tax, and now the sales tax, GST, service tax, refund, and the whole mess around the taxation is a one. One last on the accounting, some of the positions we take in terms of the contingent liability, what the tax department keeps issuing notices, and what kind of standard you follow. For example, recognizing DTA. Okay, with no use. So future is always bright, right? So people always want to recognize DTA. I don't understand that why anybody has to recognize DTA, because I am a big believer of not recognizing any DTA. So, because I believe that if the profit comes at that time, we can always pay. But I think some of the aggressive guys think that they can show up the network by recognizing DTA. I think that is one of the objectives of a lot of people. I don't know what your individual views are. And the other big one is intangible asset. Intangible asset is another crazy one which I just don't like. Any of the intangible asset I see in due diligence, I will tell them to write off. Because I think that it is all shell. So whatever you can keep arguing with me till cows come home, but I think I will never get convinced. All these are expenses. So I always tell that in a balance sheet. So the biggest challenge, guys, in a companies, in a diligence and all that, the biggest challenge I see is no entrepreneur looks at the balance sheet. Okay, I can tell you that 80% of the people don't have the balance sheet. People only look at the P&L. 80% don't have the balance sheet. 20% have the balance sheet, but they don't look at it. Okay, they only look at it at the time of signing. And then signing also the chartered accountants prepare and then come with some sticker or then mark into, so you sign. किसी को कुछ पता नहीं है क्या है इसमें. Right? Balance sheet is a very important thing, right? And I remember that, see, when I just started my career in 92, our auditors in Wipro financial services business was A. Ferguson, and there was a partner called H.L. Shah. Amazing, right? So one day I was explaining to him, saying that, sir, I think why should we do this? I think we can let it off. So then he said that jump the balance sheet, why don't you start with the P&L? That was eye-opener, I will never forget that. So from that day I decided that first thing is a balance sheet. Then he explained to me, beta, first is a, that is why in the audited accounts, if you see, first is a balance sheet, next page is a P&L. So, but unfortunately I think nobody sees the balance sheet. So, my request to the finance fraternity is, I think you have to educate your clients and look at the balance sheet first. Because the balance sheet tells the health of the company. Because you can just convert the sales to receivables. Right? You can convert the inventory to sales, sales to receivables, receivable to write off. That cycle will continue. Right? In over 2-3 years. You can keep doing this. Right? So that is where I think the investor looks at the due diligence, financial due diligence from that perspective. Because it is said that it is not, when your topic does not say only financial due diligence. Now let me little bit tell you about the legal due diligence, and then I will stop and you can ask any questions. So in legal due diligence, it is one is the first the lawyers start, first they give a checklist to the target company, and then that says that give this document, that document, and all that. Primarily the company formation document. If you really see the objects, so I have seen in many companies what they do is completely different from what is there in the memorandum of association. Okay, that I think nobody has told them. Okay, the problem is nobody has told them, and I think that this community, finance fraternity, owe a lot of responsibility to the entrepreneurs. You hold a lot of responsibility to the customers whom you are serving by educating them, saying that look at this, it is very important, don't do this. There was one company, I think I told you this, Azure Power, I can tell the name. So they from US to India, and then we seed invested in the company. And then that guy did not know anything actually. So he was saying that, oh, can you connect me to a chartered accountant, can you connect me to a lawyer and all that. So I connected him to one chartered accountant in Delhi, Sanjay Garg or something. I think Sanjay Garg. Okay, so this guy made all the resolutions, and then we invested some $500,000, two investors, $1 million at the time. It was in 2008, and then this guy wrote some check, and then the chartered accountant said that, sir, I think you need to pass a board resolution and get an investor approval. He got very wild. He said, "Kya bolte ho? And why should I get it? It is my company." He said, "It's not your company. This investor is there. So you have to." So unless you tell that, I think the entrepreneur doesn't understand. Because entrepreneur thinks that initially he got wild at Sanjay Garg. But then after that, usko pata chala, I think there is, then he showed the document, saying that look at this. I think that is, for the governance, I surely think that the chartered accountants play a very, very important role. And I wish more people were here in this group, because I am just saying that many of the companies, see, I always tell the Economic Times guys saying that you only showcase the good companies. You are not showcasing the failures. If one company is coming as, oh, they have raised this money, they have done this, there are 100 companies who are dying. Okay, and those stories are not coming. Those stories nobody understands, nobody reads. Right? I'm just saying that most of the companies are failing because of two things. One, imprudent business practice, and second is a governance issues. Imprudent business practice is somebody tells him saying that grow. Based on the GMP, based on the revenue, you will get a valuation. So I don't know, any of you know Mr. RNT Natarajan, the chairman of Srikanth Group in Chennai. He's an 84-year-old man. So I asked him one day, sir, he's a very good family friend. I asked him one day, sir, what do you think about all these insane valuations? How many of you know Tamil here? Okay, reasonably good. So he told me, saying that, Natarajan, it is like a counterfeit note. யார் கடைசியாக வச்சிருக்காங்களோ they be in trouble. Whoever is holding last will be in trouble.
Just like passing the bill.
Yeah. So I'm just saying the biggest challenge is not the investor. So I always tell the entrepreneurs, see, don't worry about investor. We make 10 investment. One is written off, I don't care. Because I have a bigger picture. I just think that it doesn't matter. At least let us not waste our time and then move on. Right? But for you, it is your career. It is your life. Right? So how he has to decide? I think constant mentoring and monitoring from the finance community. And I have seen, I am helping a lot of companies, and I have always seen saying that most of the companies, the right things are not told to them. For two reasons. It is not that, in my experience, I think it is not the knowledge issue of the chartered accountant. It is not that the CA doesn't know. That is only probably 20%. 80% of the CAs know that it is wrong. One, either they are fearful of telling, because that day will start telling. Second, they are fearful of losing business. In my view, I think we should just walk out. We should not be party to all these wrong things. Once a few people do it, automatically entrepreneurs will understand. We should tell, do the business prudently. We should tell, we should not make unit economics negative unit economics. How many people are telling? We should tell that we cannot do a section 185, 186 violation. How many of you are telling? Right? 185, 186 violation is a disastrously serious. There was one company, we have done a diligence. Last 4 years, they are doing a 185, 186 violation. Okay, we can say that 4 years back 185 didn't come, but 2 years. Right, this is a violation. And it is being done, the audit is done by one large tier 2 firm. I don't want to tell the name, but a large tier 2 firm. And I just embarrassed that audit partner. I just told him that, how did you do? He said, we are not getting the books. I said, you should have resigned. Today we changed the auditors. Okay, we have changed that company, we changed the auditors. 30th September, so we went to another auditor. Okay, he said that, oh, 30th September, how will you go? I said, don't worry. That we will manage. Private company. But we at least cleaned up the everything. I think we have to be very conscious. So my friend has joined as NFRA chairman, Sridhar. Okay, so Mr. Sridhar is chairman for NFRA, you know that, right? National Financial Regulator, which is supposed to be above your CA institute, right? So I'm just telling you, the biggest challenge, guys, is the governance. Biggest challenge is the governance. Whatever you say, I think if we put the right balance sheet, whatever money the banks take, they cannot give loans beyond a point. Because it is on their face. It is on their face. Now, you must have read that it's a public news, hence I am sharing. You must have read that the GT is being questioned for the Kingfisher valuation, right? You must have read in the Economic Times, right? So, if you read, if you go the depth of interview, 2008, this firm has given a valuation report. Okay, all the chartered accountants give the valuation report. This firm has given a valuation report. They have given a disclaimer saying that the company has informed saying that it is being used only for the internal purpose and not for any external purpose, and hence we have not relied on any other document except the documents given by the company, and hence it should not be used for any external purpose. They have given a disclaimer. Okay. Now, in 2008 it is given. 2009, middle of 2009, State Bank of India has used this report and given the loans. Now, the chartered accountant firm, CA firm can take a shelter, say that I have given a caveat. But that is not the point, right? Why are you even giving that stupid valuation? If it is internal, why do they need internal valuation? That, I think some of the questions if you ask, then I think we can avoid some of these disasters. That is my feeling, my very strong feeling. And that is why I think I am partly with the Prime Minister, that I think probably I think we needed to transform this entire audit, entire assurance, now I think they are coming up with the enough bricks on valuations. They are also coming with the enough bricks on internal audit. Right? I think it is and somebody was one of your colleagues I met, and he was telling me I think the government is allowed to root the chartered accountants this thing. I said no, it is not true, because even today there are so many good great chartered accountants who have really transformed the companies, and I know a lot of good chartered accountants who will stand up and say that I will not be part of this, right? And so I think as CA fraternity, I think you will be a very very good use to the due diligence, and on the tips, there is no tips. I think you have to go to the root, and it has to be clean, because the intention has to be clean. And whatever wrong is there, we can always correct. As long as the intention is clean and there is no siphoning of money, I think we are okay to, as an investor, we are always okay to look at it. So that is how I think I see the diligence happening. And we have seen, I think I talked about this 185, 186, and a lot of related party transactions is another big red flag which is coming up in the due diligence. Lot of related party transaction. And I generally stay away from this with due respect, husband and wife company, father and son company. Okay, only family is there. That kind of a company, I think it is difficult for a foreign investor to come in and then enforce the governance. Because I think because everybody, they only look at the people who say yes. Right? I think unfortunately we don't. And that is where is a challenge. So, that is only about it. Let's share some experience. Come on, guys.
How do you look at a founder who is trying to do everything? Like say in early stages, it might not be worth the time, but he is trying to cut the cost and he's trying to do a lot of things on the accounting and everything. So, what would be your take on it?
So a very good question. I think, I think it is a very subtle balance to us. Okay. For example, in an early stage company, I think you have to be very conscious about the cost also. Okay. So I am not in favor of saying that. A lot of investors say that no, you hire this guy, hire that guy. I don't do that. I always believe that you have to be very prudent. Okay. But at the same time, you have to scale up. So it is a very tight balance. Okay, so I always say that try to reduce the non-core stuff and then try to hire one or two small level guys. You don't have to. See, founder do this in two ways, right? One, he is so insecure, right? He thinks that everything he has to do, he wants all control, right? So that is one thing. Second is a real cost control. So the guy who is in the first category, I think we have to change. Second category, I think he will know how to balance, right? So the other thing is, so there is also an element called founder LTs. So what is founder LTs is when you start a company, you will end up doing everything, including making chai, right? Uske baad what happens? Again, after 2 years, again you can't go and make chai. Right? Founder LT. So an extension of this is when you start a company, chai boy also will report to you. Okay, office boy will report, driver will report, general manager will report. That's okay. But over 2 years, 3 years, what happens is that it has to go down. Okay, but again, you don't this thing. Okay, you overlook the general manager, everybody go and talk to that assistant. So then what is the respect you are giving to these people? So that is called founderitis. So founder also have to scale up. So I think it is a subtle balance. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
from your own experience, of how you've given many grave examples of how things have gone wrong. Are there examples in Indian context where things have gone almost right, or last year?
Things have gone right.
Yeah.
Sorry, sure.
What is your own hit rate? I mean, if you do a due diligence on, let's say, 100 companies, right? What's your experience?
Okay, so typically we as investors, and not only we, I think generally the investors invest about 1% of what the companies they see. Okay, so 1% of the companies only we invest. So in Helion we saw close to 8,000 companies and we invested about 75 companies. Okay, but not all the 8,000 companies, not all the 8,000 come to me, it is at various level. But I would say that after the term sheet, DD failing will be roughly only 20%, not more than that. Yeah, because mostly, so there is also a time called when we start talking to the entrepreneur and they give the term sheet that 2 months में तो थोड़ा सा dating होता है, right? So there will be a lot of dating with the entrepreneur. उसमें तो पता चल जाएगा how you are. It's exactly like a life, man. When you love a girl, you know. Then after some time, तो तुम्हें पता चलेगा क्या है good, bad, right? So like that one. And it is a marriage. I must tell you this. In fact, marriage also you can divorce, but उसमें तो divorce भी नहीं होगा because there will I get money. Right? I am stuck with you for 10 years till exit happen. Right? And just remember that, see, it is not our money. We are only a money manager. A lot of investors think that it is their money. It is not our money. We are also employing, we are managing somebody's money. If we know that, if we constantly remember that and keep our feet on the ground, then I think half the problem will solve.
Other examples of good companies?
Very good companies. For example, Azure Power, Red Bus, you know, right? ID Fresh. Mustafa is doing a great job. Okay, ID Fresh, I was on the board. Yesterday, Amadi is doing a good job. Amadi Sahu, doing a good job. Big Basket, he is doing a good job. So, this guy, the way Azure Power scaled is amazing. He started, when he came, I will give you, this is a small 3-4 minute story. So when he came, so first he went to US. He was in US, so he went to a US investor. And then the Foundation Capital. And Foundation Capital, that partner told, saying that you find an India investor, then I think we will support. So he came to India, and the Foundation Capital guy called Ashmit Sirana. Ashmit introduced him to, in Helion, he introduced him to Sanjeev Agarwal. So we have a partnership meeting every week, every Monday morning. And in that Sanjeev Agarwal said that there is a guy called Indrapreet Wadhwa, Sadaji Sunday. This guy, so he is wanting to put up a solar power this thing, and I don't think that we have any competence to invest, so we should not invest. So I stood up and said that no, I think we should invest. So he asked how. So there was a big argument. Sanjeev said that it is a financial engineering company because you need to raise lot of debt, right? In a power companies, you need to raise lot of debt, and second is a governance is a big issue, all that. So I told Sanjeev, so what is your problem? Your problem is, so my view was in this kind of a brick and mortar company, the death rate is very low. Okay, mortality rate is very low, and I think you will surely make at least 3-4 x in a 10-year time. So my always belief is, I think we have to put all our eggs in some different baskets, and this is one basket. You cannot always think that everything will become like a Flipkart, Walmart acquiring, right? So and everybody thinks now that. Okay, so then we said. So he said, how do you mitigate? How do you know that he will have an ability to raise money? Sanjeev asked me this question. I said, okay, let's do one thing. We will talk to Indrapreet we'll tell him. So he had 1 megawatt power agreement with Amritsar, okay, in Punjab government, state government. And on those days the dollar was 40 rupees, 2008, okay, 40 rupees actually. So we said that we will give you $500,000. That is 250k from me, 250k from Foundation Capital, and I will manage it. I said that on those days, up to 6 months you can allot share capital. Right? We have time to allot share capital 6 months. So I told Indoplay, says that I will give you $500,000, it was 2 crore, and out of that you can draw 50 lakh. And within 5 months you have to raise a capital, and so you have to raise a debt of 8 crore. Because on those days the 1 megawatt was costing some 8 crore. Okay, so we said that you have to raise a 8 crore debt, and once you raise a 8 crore debt, then I will release this balance money, and then we will put the next money for the next megawatt and all that. So in 3 months this guy raised 8 crore debt from OBC, and then he Oriental Bank of Commerce, and then the rest is a history. He raised $200 million, and he went to close to now 500 megawatt. And he has IFC, OPIC, ADB, several guys in the in his as investors. So it is a great story, and I tell you, see, this is I must tell you this, right? So like I told you, so please don't get me wrong again. So I'm a big time Big Four guy. So I put only Big Four auditor in my university company. So I normally give it to KPMG. So this time Rajiv Memani was telling that you are not giving me any auditor, EY guy. EY is the chairman of EY. So I said, okay, fine, Rajiv, I will give this Azure Power auditor. But I said I can't pay anything more than 2 lakhs. So Rajiv said that no problem, yeah, तुम जो कुछ बोले वो करते हैं. But their partners were very sensitive. They said no, we will not take 2 lakh audit and all that. क्या बकवास है. So Rajiv said no, I have promised Nats, I think next time. You won't believe, 5 years ago, their audit fees, 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, their audit fees was 1 crore. Okay, so that is the kind of growth the company has. And then when the company went to Nasdaq, so obviously I think they did all the SEC and all that stuff, EY did, and with the US partner, US GAAP and all that. So their entire US cost and all put together, EY made about 6 crore. So it was a big story in EY, saying that how we. So there are a lot of good stories, good things happening. So I was telling you more for the caution. Some other. Yes, sir.
How do the companies approach you? Make themselves clear to
So
get heard?
no, I don't understand.
You get funding.
How do the companies
approach you?
Oh, there are enough man and mother-in-law investment bankers.
So,
You just walk out and then say that I want to raise money, there will be 10 investment bankers there.
so investment bankers are
Yeah, a lot of investment bankers, then contacts, then baat kar lo, there are a lot of Thai events are there. Okay, then so there's a ThaiCon happening in Kochi. Then there is always a Thai events, there are so many Thai events happening. There's a meet the investor. So like the startup companies are hungry for money, investors are also very hungry for investing. It is both sides. And it is a question of you don't get money, we don't get good investment. So we are no different. That is why some of these crazy valuations come. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, what is the normal turnaround time? So when they
2 to 3 months.
And what is the timing?
Another 3 months for investing. So I always tell a company that if you want money, budget 6 months. I am telling you frankly, okay, because I don't mince my words. Okay, so I don't give any sugar coating talk. Yes.
So in a slightly different context, when at the time of term sheet negotiation, if you want to advise a client, what would you suggest?
So advise the client very what is right. For example, don't advise too many theoretical stuff. So I will give you an example. Okay, there will be one class called liquidation preference. Okay, all of you know liquidation preference, right? So don't unnecessarily break the wall. saying that no, we will not give liquidation preference. Investor will walk away. Okay, so there is something called anti-dilution. Okay, so don't break. The only thing you can ask is ask for a weighted average broad-based anti-dilution. Because if investors ask a fully ratchet, you guys know about fully ratchet and I hope. Right? You want me to tell about it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so fully ratchet is, suppose if a company, if his company, SARS company is raised at a valuation of 20 million. Okay, if a subsequent round happens, just give me one. I am speaking, I call you after. Come on, do it. So if his valuation is 20 million in a fully ratchet anti-dilution, if subsequently in his company gets a valuation of say 15 million, again Manlord it reduces, where he has not performed and it reduces, my 20 million valuation will be automatically set to 15. That's a fully ratchet. So I am fully protected. Investor is fully protected. Okay. Weighted average, there are actually three anti-dilutions. One is a fully ratchet, second is a narrow-based anti-dilution, third is a weighted average broad-based anti-dilution. So weighted average broad-based anti-dilution is very fair. Narrow-based anti-dilution is little bad, but if the valuation is too high, I am okay to do that. As an entrepreneur, I am telling you. Fully ratchet, I think entrepreneur should not do. Because if I am giving fully ratchet anti-dilution, then what is your credibility of valuation discovery? Okay, that you can push back. But what happens is that typically when you advise the entrepreneur, you advise every point. Okay, and many points I used to laugh, saying that how can who advises this? So and I think, see, in some of the conference calls, the chartered accountants feel little embarrassed because I think I used to not ridiculing, I respect people, but I think when some very basic things are not this thing, so I used to literally feel bad. So that you have to be careful.
So when you say weighted average,
Broad base. Weighted average broad base means what will happen is, so 20 million mein, agar मान लीजिए I have invested 2 million to sir, then the company goes down to 15 million, then there will be weighted average stuff coming, and my valuation will not be reset to 15, I think it will go to roughly about 18. Okay, and I need a whiteboard to explain that, so I don't think, it's not a class, so I don't want to do that.
No sir, they have a whiteboard.
No, I think it will become two this thing. Oh, you have whiteboard? Okay. But I think it will be two classroom, so I don't want to do that. You guys have a lot more experience than me. Yes sir. Any other question? Yes sir.
The due diligence happens after the price is already fixed, right?
Yes.
So what happens if there are some surprises like very
It will come down.
so there will be some adjustment to the price?
Yeah.
Sir, do all the firms like you, like RNT or Helion, they all follow the same due diligence standards?
Similar. Mostly similar. Because they all use all these fellows only. Same price. PwC, KPMG, Deloitte and EY. Okay, so similar.
So you says 1% only getting funds. What happens to 99% of?
Doesn't know, I get from somebody else. So I always tell these guys, just because I have not invested in your company doesn't mean that you are bad. And just because I have invested in your company, it is not you are good. Both are true. Because I also failed significantly. Imagine when I invest only 1% and I fail some 40%, I fail. If somebody says that oh, we have not failed as an investor, I think he is lying. Okay, so.
What do you think about the mentality of investors in terms of picking innovators? I mean, there is this whole concept of saying that the innovation happens in say an Israel or a US company. But if I take say Helion case, something like an ID was not a Me Too investment. I'm sure that, and it has grown very solid business-wise, like you said about Mr. Bharani, has grown solidly. So how do you think that how many investors are ready to take that bet in terms of an actual innovative product?
Everybody will talk that they will take innovation and all. It's all very talking points. But ideally, people also decide that whether the guy is a really good guy in terms of interaction, and then mostly there are only two things, boss. two things are the primary decision makers. One is your market, second is your team. Okay, so there are three people came to one of the Helium office, and then this guy, one of the very senior guy, big guy, no, he came, and then me and Ashish from Helium, both of us were sitting, and then we just asked Ashish, he asked me this question. So I know about this guy, so I was anyway switched off. Ashish asked, so Mr. XXX, so what about your team? So it is team, I am the only team. These guys are all working for me. So that's all. So we didn't even get the next meeting. So that is about team. And the second thing is you need to have. So there is one of the entrepreneur who told me, this senior guy, he told me, Max, I run my company by passion. My son runs my company by compassion. So it is a combination. You have to have a passion, you have to have compassion also. But at the same time, you can't have all that. But at the same time, you can't say that I am higher and higher. So I think that is another culture. Then the third is sharing. That is another. See, most of the people, they don't want to share. Even with the investor. See, and you see, some of the deals also fall away because of the valuation. Because investor, their company thinks too high of themselves. Okay? And there are several disadvantages. That is another thing, the advice you asked. Okay, so a lot of the entrepreneurs get advice saying that no, valuation is too low. How do you know valuation is too low? Right? So, and then because you don't want to dilute, so you think that, see, just remember one thing, you can own 100% of a zero value company. It's very easy. Okay, and the same thing with the investor also. So I always say, unless the entrepreneur succeed, investor cannot succeed. Unless the company succeed, we cannot succeed. So we will always give up. Same thing, the entrepreneur also should be fair and reasonable. Because if you mess up that, and I think then that is the giving up to ESOP, employees, how do you take care, all that. Yeah. Yes, sir.
One of the, this is just a piece of advice.
Yeah.
Few people I have spoken to seed stage, just getting into ACV. The entrepreneurs are very passionate. They believe that top line is going to. They believe the top lines are going to happen, and as I can see it's not adding up.
Right.
How do you actually kind of advise them, because they say, okay, you don't believe in the product, and therefore
it's called advice. That is the only way. You have to just give him a kick. You have to tell him, saying that how will you? So you have to see. I think the way to do this is take him to a separate room with his colleagues or whatever, and then instead of in public, you have to tell him, touch your heart and say how it will happen. And you have to argue with the data based. If you argue with the data based, you can tell something to the entrepreneur. You can tell something to the investor. But at least you should know what is true, right? See, all of us, we can tell anything to anybody, but at least you should be conscious to your consciousness. Right? I think you should tell him. Right? I have seen another set of entrepreneurs who are extremely conservative. I have seen at least 3-4 people who are extreme. In fact, I used to tell them that don't show like this. As an investor, I told him. Because I tell you, he will say, sir, 100% I will achieve this. I said that don't show like this. You have to show at least 80% achievability number. Because whatever you give, we as investors also discount. Because we don't know who is conservative, who is optimistic. So we have a way to optimize. We have a way to moderate the numbers. Right? So that is another thing I think you have to. And if you are not telling this, you must tell. That is actually my biggest challenge. So in all this public speaking, a lot of people still call me for speaking. So I always tell, saying that, see, I will not mince my words. I will tell the truth. Okay, and I will be very harsh. I will be okay with all that. I will not give any sugar coating. Oh, investment is big. It's a great climate. Okay, all these are going to go up. Everybody will be very keen to listen to that. But the reality is not there. Right? And the same thing with the entrepreneurs. I will always tell, let's see what you have to do as a true person. Otherwise, I think it is very easy to say that, oh, I think it is all very green. I think don't worry and all that. So, we are not here. We are not a HR expert to give some motivation speech. Right? There are better people than us. So you have to tell the entrepreneur, saying that, boss, if you are considering me as an advisor, the same thing in a business plan competition. So when they call me, Most of the business plan, I'll say that, see, I always stay near hospital or a burial ground. So I have seen so many patients and deaths, right? So I know that what will this thing. So obviously after 13 years, you also become a lot of. Yesterday I met Harish, granddaughter. He just resigned, and then he was just telling that, oh, you are the 14th year Vanvas is getting complete. So it's like that. So when you see so many companies, you know that what is their experience. So I think you also have several experiences on that with your experience. That is what I think you have to communicate and educate to the entrepreneurs.
So what is the level of your involvement into the management post-investment?
So there are two views. Okay, one is the lot of private equities who have a quote unquote a majority stake and all that. They want to put their people and then run and all that. Okay, but a lot of early stage investors they want to help the entrepreneur only to the extent they want. So I am in the second camp. I always believe that only if the entrepreneur asks, we have to we have to help. And second is, I believe that if you are competent, automatically entrepreneur will come and ask you. And if you are not competent, if entrepreneur is not asking, it's good, at least move on. So that is my view. But a lot of private equities who have majority stake and all, they put there for governance and all that. And you know that some of the, I don't want to name, in Bangalore itself, the companies where I think the private equities put money and then the money got swindled and all the stuff, you know all that stuff. I don't want to tell the names here. Yeah, anything else? Yes, sir.
Practically post-investment, how frequently you recheck the investment portfolio?
So we check every quarter. So we have a monthly investment call. Monthly, we call it in US, there is a monthly board call. So that a similar thing we follow, monthly board call. And we do a deep dive on a quarterly basis.
The valuation should go under venture capital valuation or DCF or GMV?
Or as determined by you. So when I passed out and there was one auditor, Thakur Vaidyanathan and Company, I don't know whether you know. So I was asking him, sir, the company, sir, should we do the depreciation on standard SLM or WDV? So he was telling me. So straight line போடலாம், WDV போடலாம், இல்லை நீங்க போடுறீங்க அந்த மாதிரி போடலாம். So you can do straight line or WDV or the way you are doing. So valuation can be as you give. So the biggest challenge is the valuers are not doing the right justification to the right valuation. Right? They ask the company what valuation you want, and if you don't ask, the finance manager calls you and tell, and accordingly you make your DCF projection. This DCF projection is all nonsense actually. And this is there are two things, right? One is the terminal value, what terminal value you can give, and what discounting rate you give. Right? So depending upon the answer, you can frame the inputs. Right?
So in your company, you have exclusively the team for valuation or?
No, valuation is all bullshit. It's all. It is all demand and supply. You go to vegetable shop. I don't know. I don't know. Your Malaysian market, you go that they give aloo 20 rupees. You say 15 rupees. The maid may give you. The seller may give you. But the valuation of aloo is 15 rupees. What is the valuation? It's a demand and supply. There is a lot of demand and supply. People can say all the scientific and all. May use all bullshit. So it's all demand and supply. So the way to validate, let me tell you, while it is not so much belittling. So the way to validate this is, I'll tell you at least how I validate some of these valuations is, we take whatever is a projection and then we moderate internally, it's not known to outsiders, and then say that whether at least I will make a 20-25% IRR. That one back of the envelope we do. Whether we will get, I don't know. But at least when you enter, at least you should go with that hope. That is how it is. So that is the valuation. Otherwise imagine, see how people a startup company get a 10 million, 20 million. I'm just saying that it is all very new to me. Yes, sir.
Did you also get a chance to speak to government on the tax issues or the valuation which don't get accepted?
56 years.
Yeah, 256, 270.
So, one of the policies, the startup policies which we have is so Prime Minister said, so actually UK Sinha was very helpful and he has only put it up to the CBDT and CBDT was not cooperative, CBDT was not helpful and all that. So then we took it up with the Prime Minister. So Prime Minister said that okay, I will, so he said talk to the Revenue Secretary, talk to the Finance Secretary and all, we are doing all that. Then Prime Minister one day got a meeting of all the 14 secretaries. It happened in PMO office and I was there, 4 of us were there. And then we raised about this 56A. And immediately the Revenue Secretary said that, Max, why don't you define what we should do? I said, there is nothing to be defined, it is already there. I think what is to be done is that income tax officer should apply his mind. I will give an example, guys. Okay, there is a company, let's take SARS company. Okay, there is a foreign investor. I am a foreign investor. I am investing in 20 million valuation. This sir is investing, wanting to invest alongside me. Okay, and he is also investing at the same valuation, right? But his investment can be caught under 56A. Under what context? Right? Income tax officer should look at it. The problem is, I think these guys have got sky high powers, right? They can just freeze the bank accounts. Those are all the problems, I'm telling you. They can just take the entire money as an income. What nonsense it is, right? I'm just saying that I think these are all the things. The income tax, now it is all a little bit changing, but I think we have a very, very long way to go. These are the regulator is, I think it is all changing in SEBI, RBI, but income tax is still not changed. But there is a lot of pressure on the Prime Minister, but let us see how it happens. Anyway, next year election is coming, we don't know. So, yes sir, last question.
So what is the typical IRR you are looking, sir?
25%. 20-25.
The investment goes
I can look at anything, but it doesn't
the investment goes into the parent company of Indian subsidiary or directly Indian company. Some of the companies.
Okay. So I think it's a great question. As an investor, I always want to invest in a parent company. Okay, and from your perspective also, company perspective also, it is good to get the investor at a parent because to avoid all the confusion. However, in the interest of the entrepreneur, suppose if you have multifarious businesses, then you may think that, for example, let's take Azure Power. Suppose if you have two different businesses, one is EPC business, second is a power generation business. Then you can think that EPC business valuation is different, power generation is different, so I get different investors in the different business. And then so that at least for exit also it will be easy enough. But it is all more thinking than actually happening. It's all so much mess. Yes sir. Yes sir.
You find a company in declining phase where you have invested. So what will be your step in terms of, so you will induct your people or you will have a discussion with the...
You know this, that I think when Raja was dying and the minister went and then Raja while dying he gave 3 slips to him. One he said that first you blame the past. So we'll keep blaming the past. Second, we'll change the CEO. Right? He said the second chief said that after it doesn't work, change the this thing. Third, he said that change the manager or whatever. That's what the Raja said. Okay. Third, he said that quit and then give these 3 slips to the next day. So we will try to see whether we can recover. Otherwise, we will just move on. Yes, sir. That's all. Thank you, guys. I hope this.
Guys, we had a wonderful session, a 5th session and first day end of the session. Now we have come to the end of interesting session. I thank Natarajan for his wonderful session. I thank on behalf of Bangalore branch of ICA for his time and efforts and sharing his knowledge. May I request Venkateshwar to present a memento to the speaker as a token of respect and gratitude.